Hi, everybody. It's Dilly Briggs from the Dilly News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio and also sometimes still on chaoticradio.com. And tonight we are getting to speak with Alexander from Vitamin XP. And we're going to be talking about some of his new albums. We have a special treat because we are getting kind of like a sneak peek at four of the new songs on his new album that has not dropped yet. So we're getting a little something special for our fans here on Rockers Edge Radio. Thank you so much, Alexander, for taking the time to talk with us. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, very welcome. And again, I'm very excited to find out that we are getting a little sneak peek of the new songs, that you have out. But before we get into that, I kind of want to just touch base a little bit about you and your musical talents, and just to kind of let people know a little bit more about you. Now, I know that you are an artist here in California, the United States. However, that you originally came from Serbia, and you had a musical career back there in Serbia as well. Is that correct?
Well, I grew up playing music, so basically it was in high school. We played music, and the music was the way out of to kind of stay alive and kind of it's preserve some kind of spirit. But I didn't have like some kind of. We did record a couple of albums, but that was just like high school life. That was my musical career. But here I started recording 3 years ago professionally.
Now, you already have a previous album before as well. You have another full-length album called Daily Dose. And tell us a little bit about that. When did that album come out?
That album came out this year, early in January, and it was um, it was 6 months of work recording the album and making the songs, and I'm really happy about that album. That album was recorded with Joe Cardamone, was producer who produced James Williamson from the Stooges, and he collaborated with Jan Asbury from the Cult, and he produced that album, and he produced this album too.
Oh,
So
okay. So you worked with him.
I'm very happy that I was able to work with him because he could understand the vibe and the music, and to put it very simply and in a right form.
And you have a number of music videos out as well for your first album for people to be able to go back and check out his music and check out the videos as well. And the videos are very pleasing. You have a lot of different background in it, that seems to really go with the music and stuff. I really like the one that had a lot of the forest scenery in it. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I watched so many different videos.
That was probably again. That was recently shot by bass player. She experimented and make that one. But there was a "Follow Me" music video. We done that. We did it with Travis and Jacob, who are one of the best videographers in LA, and they did a great job. That music video for the song "Follow Me" and for the song "Global Warming" was done by Carlos Mercado, who's one of a kind videographer. Also, he did a great job with that one. So those
Yeah,
are
and
like.
And again, I mean, I've been watching them, and I love it. I really like the music. I like the vibe. I like that a lot of your music has like that old Ramon type of vibe to it. I feel like, there's that influence in there as well. But I really like that because there's not a whole lot of musicians bringing that type of sound back, and I loved it. I love it. I mean, out of the four songs from the new album that we're going to play, I mean, I love all of them, but I already have a favorite one myself, one of them called Well. So but that'll be one that we feature toward the end. But we do want to, fast forward a little bit to talk about the new music that you are doing now. So this new album, it is called Not of This World, but it hasn't dropped yet. It's not out just yet, but we are going to get to play four of the tracks off of it. But tell us a little bit about this album first before we get into the songs.
Well, this album was made during pandemic. Actually, four songs were made 2 months prior to pandemic, and other 9 songs were made during the pandemic and was recorded in May and June and produced in July and mastered in September. So basically, it was done during the pandemic, and I think it was very, very, very important album for me, and I think it's very uplifting. And I think we as a band and me personally went through this with music, and that was the way to kind of get back to myself and help me to focus in this time.
Yeah, and like myself, I'm somebody that I use music a lot in my life, just like a lot of people, so for people like us, we need that. We need that creativity to be able to throw ourselves into, so I can just imagine what it's like for you being that creator of it, of the music and stuff, the process it is for you. Now, again, I'm really excited about it. It is a full length album. We're only going to be playing 4 of the songs. However, we will feature some of the other songs also on Rockers Edge Radio, just in rotation, as we are getting to have that special sneak peek. So, we're going to start with the song Rise. We're going to play that here in just a moment for everybody. Can you tell us a little bit about what this song means to you? Like what the process, the wording on it, what is that for you?
Well, the song it's about uplifting thoughts, and about that I needed uplifting thoughts. I was waiting and I'm waiting. And that's what I talk about. I'm waiting for that change in me, some kind of rise, to rise again. And the song is about the thoughts. It's about uplifting thoughts and uplifting times. So it's about that, waiting for that and working on that.
And that's something I think people can relate to, because a lot of people are looking for something to uplift them right now, with this pandemic and stuff, and they are looking for that uplifting message. So I think it's a fantastic. I love the music. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking with Alexander from Vitamin XP, and we are getting to have sneak peek of some of the new music from an album that has not dropped just yet. So we are about to play the song Rise for you here on Dilly News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio.
Lift me up.
all right. And once again, that was Rise by Vitamin XP. And we are getting to speak with Frontman Xander. That was fantastic. I just love that song. And again, like you said, it's something that's uplifting, something that you needed, but a lot of people that use music as a release also need something that will give them a reason to, like you said, rise up and give them that uplifting feeling as well. So that was beautiful. I love that. Now, again, we are featuring, just so people know, we are featuring a sneak peek. We are getting to hear some of the new songs off of the album that is called Not of This World, but it has not dropped just yet. Tell us a little bit more about the album. Now, you said it's not out yet, but you are looking to release it soon. Now, are you doing self-publishing on this? Or you are looking for a label, or are you looking for doing more self-publishing?
I'm looking for a label. We are open for a label, for the right label, whoever they can call us. And if we don't find, we'll probably do it ourselves. We'll publish it. But I hope that we can find a label next month or so, and we can do it in the right way.
And you know what? And this is, a really good way to help get your music out. But by doing interviews like this and putting some of those sneak previews out like that, so that you do get that exposure, because you never know, if a label hears it and go, hey, you know what, we really need to contact them. So you can pick up a label just from working and putting that exposure out. And again, like you said before, I mean, if you don't, if you're not really happy with the label, then a lot of musicians are putting them out and they are self-publishing and putting them out song by song. But either way, you're going to get a lot of people who I think would be very interested in the music, and I think you're going to, get garner more fans, by putting that out there, putting everything out there. So again, once again, we are getting to speak with Alexander from Vitamin XP. And before we play the next song, let's talk a little bit about the name of the band. Now you're called Vitamin XP, but I know XP does not stand for like extra pill. It stands for something in particular. If I'm not mistaken, something like a Greek superhero, or am I getting that wrong? Can you give an explanation of what it means?
Well, it's it, it's like people are looking for vitamins nowadays, and the real vitamin is the spirit, and the vitamin XP stands for the Greek letters of the actual hero, that is XR, but it stands for Christ. But that's how it was written in 2,000 years ago. So it's old Greek letters, hero, and it's actually X and R, and that's hero. But also stands for the explosion, and stands for that there is no vitamin that can lift you up, or heal you, or make you be who you are. You need to work on that deeper. So it has a little mystery to it.
No, and I thought that's interesting, because when I was doing my research and stuff, I touched upon something in regards to that, and I was like, oh, you know what, that's interesting, and I thought that was really cool because your name has a lot more meaning to it if you look down deep into it, and the fact that it means the vitamin is like it's yourself, it's the spirit inside of you, so that spirit exploding out, I think is a great metaphor for the name. So again, I wanted to touch on it because I knew it had a different meaning in there. So I think that's fantastic, So it's a great it's such a great way to put your band out there and have it stick out there.
Yeah, yeah, it's spiritual. And like I said, it means that you need to bring Christ in yourself, that freedom and love. You need to get that freedom, and it's not easy. You need to work on that. You need to really be aware that you have that power to get inside, and you have to work with that, with the kingdom. You need to work with the power that we have, and not be dragged with the social media or with the world, and the fallen nature that we have. So we have to rise above that, and get back to who we are, and try to love people as we can and we should. So we need to get back to those raw music, vintage raw material. That means go back to the roots, who we are, back to raw person, and get get question what kind of thoughts and habits we have and why we have them, and try to change them and try to see what is divine in us, how we can actually control and make real peace inside. And sometimes we need to yell and we need to be loud. Sometimes we need to be quiet. So it's not, we need to find balance. We need to sometimes fight for freedom, literally loud, out loud, or sometimes we need to cry and go inside. So we need to use both tools, but we have to fight for that mind and heart. And no one will fight for us. We have to do the work.
And that's the truth right there. That is the truth, that everybody has that internal struggle, and it's really what you feed the most that's gonna come out the most. So and I think it's a very positive message out there to people, which we really need to hear that positivity right now as well, just with the pandemic and the way life is going. So many people can fall into that depression. So I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing, because you're sending out a positive message, a positive vibe through your music and through your soul in that way. And I think that'll really help people, and it'll touch on people who need to hear that and need to have that. So but because you're talking about, you need to fight for that, and that's true for all of us, let's go ahead and play one of the songs that you have, is titled Fight. Now, tell us a little bit of this song, and we'll play that. Is that kind of what you're talking about, that internal fight, that struggle for it?
Well, that song was made before the pandemic, and the lyrics in that song, because it's about a boxing match, but I use that match as the internal fight. But boxers, they have 3 rounds, and usually 2 rounds they attack the body, and the 3rd round they attack the mind. That's how they fight, and the 3rd round is knockout usually. So it's very similar to pandemic, and I have lyrics in that song, keep the distance, and that's what boxers do. They keep the distance while the fight. So it's also in a spiritual fight, you need to keep the distance from yourself and from others to be aware of what's going on. So you have to keep the distance from yourself too. So it's basically internal fight, but also it's external. But it's a song is like has 3 rounds and has a knockdown. It's kind of really it was made for a movie, and it's most likely will feature in a one kung fu movie. But it was made before the pandemic, as I said, and you will hear the lyrics. They have lyrics as keep the distance, what is going on right now.
All right. And now we're going to play that for you, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Dilly News Rock Show on Rockers Edge Radio. And once again, the songs that we were playing for you, we're kind of getting a sneak peek, because the album Not of This World is not dropped yet. So this is a special airing that we are getting to do. So now we're going to go ahead and play that song Fight here on Rockers Edge Radio. All right. And once again, that was the second track that we heard from Vitamin XP, and that was called Fight. And again, it's from the new album they have called Not of This World, which hasn't actually dropped just yet. So, again, the songs we are getting to hear is a special sneak peek for all of our fans here on the Rocker's Edge Radio. Thank you so much for giving us the sneak peek. We really do appreciate it. And for, giving us some information about you. Now, tell us about your band. Tell us a little bit more about your band. You're the only member right now that we can speak with, but tell us a little bit about more. Who do you work with in your band?
Well, the band for the first album was just me and Alejandra. She's a drummer, Alejandra Aleamo, and just two of us did the first album.
Oh, wow.
I played the guitars and solos and bass, and she played drums, and I did the vocals. So just two of us, we did the first album. The second album also, there was only me and her, and then Blanca joined us in the middle of the making of the album, and she played the bass on most of the on 9 songs of the album. She played bass. She practiced with us the last 6 months, and she was with us through the whole thing. And she went to studio and she recorded the bass. And so basically, it's 3 of us now. So uh, it's very nice band, and we're very happy and we work together and we really bond, and the energy was right, and we were happy with the songs and what we come through. And the the band exists. I mean, we still work, but it's only like because of pandemic, we can only work much as we can do, and it's very uh, hard time now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because again, right now everybody has to work around, like Zoom, like we're doing the interview now. You can't come into the studio like we would before. We would have our artists come into the studio itself for live interviews itself, but everybody has to work around it. So I mean, and so everybody's having to, to redo their schedules and stuff like that. But you have been able to at least collaborate with them, and you have been able to get music out. So that's the good thing, is that you are still being able to find a way to get your art out there for everyone to hear. And we're very happy that you're able that we're able to play some of that music for everyone as well, just to help give a little more exposure and to let people know a little bit more about you and where you come from and the type of music you have, because it's fantastic. And again, if you like that like old Ramon sound type, that old like old school punk sound, which I love, they have a lot of that kind of, they touch a lot of that in their music. It's fantastic. I mean, is like the Ramones part of your influence? Who were your influences growing up? How did you want to get into music?
Well, you mentioned Ramones. I started listening to Ramones when I was 9 years old. So I found It's Alive album, and it blown my mind. And basically, I listen to them till this day. I still listen to them. I met Marky Ramon in Belgrade once, but they're my favorite band, and I always listen to them all my life. They kind of really, really touch the spirit in the right way, and I really like them the most from all the punk movement. I did like the New York Dolls and Iggy Pop and Patti Smith and some other bands, but Velvet Underground. But mostly influence was Ramones. But when I made music, I didn't copy. I didn't think about that. It just came through me, and I felt that I need to narrow down even more than Ramones. I even cut the lyrics less than what they cut. So I cut even the choruses and the bridges. So I try to go back to the roots even more than what they did. I don't know, did I make it? But and funny thing that we also recorded in the same way. We recorded both albums in the same way that as Ramones did.
Nice.
They recorded in 5 days their album. We recorded our albums in 5 days.
Oh wow. That's fantastic. Yeah, because that, I mean, usually you need a lot more time frame, but when you click and you get that sound and you get what you want, and then there's no need to keep, pounding the pavement when you finally have that what you want. And again, no, it doesn't sound just like them, but I mean, I can tell, I can see the influence touch on it because it does have a similar, like I said, type of sound. Not that you're copying them, but again, it's just, for that type of genre is what I meant. If you like that genre, you like that type of feel, then this is definitely something that you're going to want to go out and get his music, download it, find them on their platforms and check them out, because they have some fantastic sounds. And I love, that it still sounds new because there's something different in it, even though it's got a pinch of that influence that we all know and love. So now we're going to play a couple more tracks. Now we have two more songs. We have Turn the Light On and we have Well, Well. So we're going to save Well, Well for last just because I keep talking about it and I love that song. I really love the way it just hit me. So we're going to play Turn the Light On. So tell us a little bit about that and your lyric writing with, for that. Tell us a little bit about this song before we play it.
Turn the Light On was collaboration. I have a guest on that song that was Ayame, a Japanese violinist, and she played violin on that song. And she's one of a kind. She just played from the heart, and she literally did it in a couple of takes. And we collaborated in many things, but I wanted her to be part of the album, so I did it in that song. And the song is about turning away the. I have a lyric from AC/DC. I mean, Back in Black. So basically, I twisted that and I said, uh, instead of going, I will never turn your back, and I will never hold you back. And I put the lyrics of, I will not, in the way that to be aware of the black thoughts and black side and black. I will never paint in black. I say that in the lyric again, in the way to be aware that we have the habits to go into dark side. So to be aware to not go there and to not leave people behind. And I said to myself, I will never let you again hold you back. That means friend, but also means my true self. To always remember that I need to keep the right thing going and not focus on bad stuff, on the negative stuff, and things that disturb your heart and mind. So it's about that light that we need to preserve and work daily. And one of the tools is music. That means literally taking the guitar and playing the tone and saying what you have to say. The other tools are, of course, available, but that was my tool in that specific song.
Yeah, and it's got a great meaning. What a fantastic, message that again a lot of your music is bringing because it is uplifting and that's something we definitely need. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to play now for you. We're going to play Turn the Light On from once again from Vitamin XP and it is from the new album that's going to drop soon, Not of This World. That was such a beautiful song. Adding the violinist was just a beautiful touch. It really gave such a sincerity, background feeling to that music, to that song.
Yeah, I really like the violin, and I really like how she plays. She's very unusual talent, and she's really, really, she can feel the song. She's very special.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I mean, it did add to it, to where you felt that, you felt more pulled into it because you have that playing in the background, and she plays beautifully, so that was wonderful. Once again, that was Turn the Light On, and again, this is from the album Not of This World, and we are getting the sneak peek because the album hasn't dropped just yet. It is a full length album, correct? It's a full length album. You have a lot more songs on it. We're just playing 4 songs because we can't feature the whole album today. However, we will play some of the other songs on the Rockers Edge radio, so just tune in there and we'll play some more in rotation for you. Now, tell me a little bit more like about like what are you going to be doing after this? I know after this you're going to have this release, and so we're promoting this, of course. But do you have other stuff that you're already working on? Is there something coming up, or like any live stream shows or anything like that?
Well, we do have 5 new songs. We are working, and they're really good. But we are working on. We have like 20 new songs, like material, but we are just slowly working on them. But I just we have new songs, but next step is I think we will do a music video. We will do some visual for a couple of songs. Hopefully next few months. I don't know what the pandemic will give us, what kind of options, but I don't know. I hope that we can present some visual story behind the songs. So I hope that we can do at least 2 songs, but I don't know. I really, it's every day is like, we don't know.
New rules. Yeah, sometimes it's just a new rule every day, every week. There's something different on what you can or can't do right now. So I understand that, But again, I just wanted to make sure if there was something coming up that you can let people know about it, But that you are already working on new music is fantastic, considering you're actually putting these albums out pretty quickly. If you just had, again, you had a previous album before called Daily Dose, and that is a full length album, so people can go back and check out that first album that they have out, and they also have a few music videos out for that as well that you can check out as well. So but we are speaking about the new album, Not of This World, and we're playing tracks from the new album. Now again, we have one more song to play for you, and this is a song that I just really like a whole lot. I don't know what it is, whether it's just the tone of the music, the deliverance of it, just I don't know. It's just the whole vibe, the whole feel of this song. I really love it. It's really hit me a whole lot. I even, told Alexander earlier. I said that this is like one of my new favorite songs. I just love this. So, but can you tell us a little bit about this and the meaning of it?
Uh, the meaning behind that song was actually I used spontaneously. I come to Bob Dylan, his song "Knock Knock on the Heaven's Door," but I didn't think about that song until the chorus came. After a couple of rehearsals, we have the song, but then I was looking for a lyric, and then I was thinking usually people are knocking on the heaven's door, but I changed that to knock knock on my heaven's door. So basically, I put the question out when I will gonna do that, and I said in the lyrics, "What is taking you so long? So why are you not getting inside?" So basically, it's a funny song, but it's also can be a trigger. People can also help you get in. So it's also a question to another person, when you're gonna open my door too, because other people usually can open our doors and they can help us to be open. So it's a, like also dual. It's question to the person who is listening, and also to myself, what is taking me so long to make a song, to talk to somebody, to do something what I want to do. So it's a call to do it now. If you have to do something to get inside or to get to know to do what you want to do it now.
Yeah, and I just like, yeah, I love it. I love the meaning of it. I love everything about it, and I think it's fantastic because it's a fun song that really just gets you moving, but it's got a meaning to it. Like you said, when are you going to open that door? When are you going to do it? So the question is onto yourself to do that, but again, it's something that just sticks with you. So this is why we're playing one of this song last, because I just absolutely love this song. So once again, we're going to play that. And this is from Vitamin XP. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking with frontman Alexander of the trio. They are here now based in California, putting music out. Please check out their sites, check out their first album, Daily Dose, and make sure to check out this album, Not of This World, when it does come out in full. So we are going to go ahead and play Well, Well for you right now on Rocker's Edge Radio.
Well, well, do you wanna ring my bell? 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 What's taking you so long? What is taking you so long? Knock, knock, knock on my heaven's door. Knock, knock, knock on my heaven's door. Knock, knock, knock on my heaven's door. Knock, knocking on my heaven's door. Well, well, do you wanna ring my bell? 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 What's taking you so long? What is taking you so long? Knock, knock, knock on my heaven's door. Knock, knock, knock on my heaven's door. Knock, knock, knock on my heaven's door. Knock, knocking on my heaven's door. Well, well, do you wanna ring my bell? 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 Well, 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 well.
All right. And once again, that was the last song of the four that we are featuring of the new music from Alexander from Vitamin XP. And again, that is Well Well, and it's off of the album Not of This World. Now, I mean, I really appreciate that you took the time to talk with us and, send us the music so that we can find out more about you here on Rockers Edge Radio on the DNR show. One of the things that I do like to ask artists, because you have been putting some music out fairly quickly and seeing some success. What would you like give another person aspiring to do what you do, wanting to, go down this path? What kind of advice would you give, like, say, to your younger self?
Well, I will not. If they want to play music, I will not play cover songs. I will play whatever instrument you can play and whatever notes you know, one note, two, three notes, and just keep playing them. And the spirit will come, the words will come, and something will start making, and you will feel little joys, and that will inspire you to make something else, and you will be probably surprised what will come up from you and from the people around, and people will kind of come to you. And it's a very important thing that you start writing or creating or uh, painting, or you have to I think it's important that every person create something on their own, whatever that is.
No, and
So
I agree with that. I agree with that. Whatever art you're doing, whatever your creative passion is, I agree with that, just to continue to do it, and I think that's fantastic. It's good advice, because the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And then you'll find your niche for what you're best at, and then of course putting it out there, you're gonna find somebody that's also gonna really love what you do and follow that artist well. Again, just like with your music and stuff, when I started listening to your music to study up for this interview, I really fell for it. I really liked it. I liked the tone of everything. And, like I said, I already have a new song from you, so because it's great to hear something different, and to get that exposure for new artists and new music. It's not just, giving exposure for the artist, but it's giving exposure to the fans who really love this stuff, who really look forward to hearing new music, because I am that fan also. So I always look forward to hearing new music as well, and being able to bring it out there to others to be able to hear that new sound too. So again, thank you so much for taking the time, to speak with us. Is there anything that maybe that I missed, something that I didn't touch on, that you would like to talk about? Or is there maybe somebody you want to give a shout out to, somebody, bring up somebody you've worked with before?
Um, I would recommend to listen to music on the headphones very loud. One thing, when you listen to the songs, you should listen them loud on the headphones, and daily dose, like take every day, listen to them daily. That's why it's called daily dose. It's kind of lift you up. It lifted me up, so it's kind of from outside. I would like to give shout out to all the musicians that are struggling in Los Angeles and all over the world, and all the radio shows they're doing online, and all the people who still have this little raw energy and vintage look, and they're trying to preserve what can be preserved. And I would like to give a shout out to my family, and to my drummer and bass player and producer and manager, and my brother in Netherlands, who actually helped me a lot with this album, organizing thing and stuff, and also my friend from Serbia, Drew, also the producer, who helped me on the way when I was making songs, to give me some advice. So I think it's very good to have a couple of people that you trust, and I think it's also good to get some feedback and kind of have a small circle of trust that you can bounce back what you're doing, so not to trust yourself completely. So it's always good to have another opinion, and get some feedback, because we are on the way to know each other. We don't even know ourselves and what is going on. So it's also important to have people that you trust, that you can share what you're doing, and that way you have more. It kind of the prayer bounce back, the song bounce back, and you have a better confidence about what you're doing. Not that you are becoming more artist or something. It's just you're more aware of the material that is coming and that is shaping. Well, I would like to say a shout out to all people who are suffering from coronavirus, and it's probably very hard. I mean, for everybody who is going through this stuff, and hopefully they will fight through this battle courageously and with spirit, and hopefully the music can at least save them in this moment, because they have to be closed and quarantined. And I think they have a music, that music can make you cry, and music can make you get up. So I think the music is very powerful tool in this moment, and I hope that people will recover and that everything will come back.
And that's true, because music is a powerful tool. People use music, to uplift their lives. When they're sad, they listen to sad music just so they can be able to get that cry out, get that heartache out, so that they can try to get through it as well. So it does play a big part in a lot of people's lives. And whether people know it or not, it really, even if people that don't really follow music a lot, it still plays a daily part in your life, because it's in commercials, it's in movies, it's in, it's in shows, it's in just everyday life. It's when you walk into a store, it's on the background. So I mean, people don't realize it, but it really is something out there that touches everyone. And like you said, it's something that you can take with you, because in this pandemic, you can't take people with you when you have to be in solitaire, or something like that. but you can take music with you in any way, shape, or form, any genre. And that's something that you can always pick and lift yourself up with. So I love that you're doing this. Again, I love that you are sharing your talent with us, with the world. The music that you are putting out is fantastic. It really touched me. I'm very happy to know your music. I'm very happy to know your art as well and to help get that out there. And just so people know, also before we close out, people know where they can find you and follow you. Please let everybody know what your platforms are, where they can find your music.
They can find almost all the music on YouTube except the last album, and they can see some live shows from Serbia. There is one live show, and they can follow on Instagram, and they can follow on Facebook. There is a page, and iTunes, the Daily Dose in iTunes and Spotify and Bandcamp. They can buy album if they want. Nobody's buying albums these days, but we do have Daily Dose, and I did one more album previous to Daily Dose, but it was just a solo album, and it's there. They can hear that too. That was 2 years ago, so they can buy album on Bandcamp. And the shirts we don't have for sale, but I do have like 100 shirts. If somebody wants the shirt, they can message me or something, and we can talk, and I can give them shirts or something.
All right. And once
Hopefully, maybe in the future we'll make some shirts, but at this point, I didn't really think about that or worry about that. I was just worrying about music and having everything done in the right way.
Oh yeah, and again, the music is what's more important right now, but there are a lot of people out there that do give the support to the musicians. So if you do have, shirt merch, out there available, please make sure to put it up there too, because again, there are people who are willing to go out there and support those artists, because we know that the artists are doing their best to support us back, and putting music out there just to uplift people. That alone is a huge support, for people in the music community and people who use the music community to help get through their daily lives. So yes, please definitely everybody show support back for your local musicians. Follow their Instagram, their Bandcamp, follow their music wherever you can find them, iTunes, Spotify, download those albums, buy those albums. I do. I purchase them. I buy them. I give support. I could show you. I'm old school. I'll buy the CDs when I go someplace. I'll buy the shirts because I do give that support back, because I feel that people in the music industry do so much to give to community, so I believe people would buy that album. They hear that music, they'll love it, they'll buy it. So make sure to follow them. Once again, we are speaking with Alexander. He's the front man from the trio of Vitamin XP. And again, if you heard earlier, it does have a special meaning for the band's name as well. If you miss any of this interview, you can always go back and catch it later on. It will be turned into a podcast, but we will play it several times on Rockers Edge Radio. And so, yeah. So, is there anything else that you'd like to say? Anything like that before we close out, or did we catch everything for you? Did we touch on everything?
Well, I just want to say one more thing. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to meet you and talk to you. And you're a great person. I'm glad that we met here online. Hopefully we'll meet in person one day. But this was great, and I'm glad that you actually exclusively present these songs for people. And I hope that people will listen, and we'll see from there. But I'm happy to be today with you, and thank you for calling me.
Oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the time. And believe me, I know the Rockers Edge radio listeners, they're going to love this music. So, because they've been following a lot of the artists that we present, and we've been getting some really great feedback for it. So I do believe you're going to get some new music fans out of this as well. So thank you also for choosing us to present the little sneak peek of the songs, because they're not dropped yet from the album. So once again, we are speaking with Alexander of Vitamin XP here on the Dilly News Rock Show, and we played 4 of the new tracks. We played Fight, Rise, Turn the Light On, and Well, my new favorite one. So you can catch that on Rockers Edge Radio, and even after the interview, we will play their music in regular rotation. So always make sure to check back, and don't forget, come back for more.